There was this Impala project kind of lurking out there. We knew that the old car was going to they're going to kill the nameplate, get rid of the car, and be done with it. I just don't think anybody really understood the importance of the nameplate and what they had, the equity. Yeah, I mean, you know, these cars are art. They're iconic. They're highly valued.
American.
The designer doing this back in the day, he didn't think about, oh, what's the value going to be, or 20 years from now it's going to be a classic. They just wanted to do something bold, exciting, and that they were proud of, that they'd want to own. We didn't talk about, oh, you know, let's make it look like a 58, or let's make it look like a 61. No, let's do a car that's vibrant, that's bold, that you want to drive, and that will be a modern classic 20 years from now, and just go away. Clean sheet of paper.
That's a hell of a remit. So give me specific examples of how do you translate that to the current car?
We did a lot of great scale models. Worked a little bit old school, a lot of great tape drawings. You know, you see, we actually do that stuff, black.
Well, I've done that myself.
Yeah. We brought out all kind of the magic, kind of the hands-on approach to the car. A small team, three exterior designers.
Oh, that is a small team.
Yeah,
it's
small
an important
group.
car.
Yeah, we had some different types of guys. I said it's a real international team. We had a talented Korean designer, talented Chinese designer, and a talented guy from a faraway place called Wisconsin.
Riddle me this. What do these two cars have in common? Badge? Block? Bold? Actually, none of the above. Instead, it's a historical connection you'll never guess.
Well, the first thing I ever had put into production was the 82 Z28 wheel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and guys used to say, you know, Cafaro's going to write home to his mom and say, hey, I did a wheel today.
That was cool, it was like a 5-star wheel.
Yeah, it was real
It had
aggressive.
like the blue inset in the silver.
Deep cut, and it was a 15-inch wheel. We thought that was a huge wheel at that time. 15's big time. So
yeah.
It was good. It was good.
So where do you go from there?
So I did a little stint in advanced design. It was really kind of a Pontiac environment. And then one day I wandered up to the Corvette Studio, because that was the whole reason I came to GM. I love the Corvette. And kind of nosed around there, and people were staring at me. I got kicked out of there. You know, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be wandering around in here. And I remember seeing in the rail they had the 81 Corvette facelift, front end facelift, or 80 it was. And then they were doing some Camaro things, and a lot of mid-engine Corvette scale models. But I got, you know, asked to leave, but eventually, somehow I got tapped on the shoulder. Since you're poking around in here, why don't you do a stint in the Corvette Studio?
We can't let John off this easy. Yeah, he's working on big stuff like Corvettes, trucks, and Impalas. But GM's a big company. What else was he working on?
From there, I did a short stint in the Cadillac Studio, and it really didn't work out because they were going in a direction that, you know, I wasn't.
Remember,
really
downsized. They were downsizing everything.
And it was very awkward time. So I whined and cried like a big baby, and they put me in Pontiac Studio, and they were doing Firebirds. They were kind of sporting up the Fiero a little bit, and Pontiac was going racing.
I had a Fiero.
I cool, excellent.
I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a real breakthrough.
So did you work on the last year of that Fiero, the 88?
You know what, I got in, I worked on the 85, it was the pace car in 84.
Oh, I love the nose on that car.
Yeah, kind of the aero nose, and I got a little hit on by the Pontiac guys. Oh, you're just bringing all that Camaro stuff with the ground effects to us, but hey, you know, look good. You know, here comes, I'm in Pontiac, here comes 1986, and Irv Rybicki retires. Chuck Jordan takes over, and Jerry Palmer gets elevated from Corvette chief to a group executive. So there was a hole to fill, and I never thought I'd be chosen for that job, and I became Corvette chief designer in 1986. And that was like, pinched myself. I was barely 30 years old.
So you're in the company, what, 4 years at this point?
Well, no, a little 9 years.
Okay, 9 years.
Yeah.
I did the math wrong. 9 years, and you're the Corvette chief designer.
Designer, man. All right. Yeah, 9 years.
You just put it over the wall, the engineers, they'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So you just got done with 13 years being the chief designer of the Corvette. You think you're going to Disneyland, right? GM had a different plan.
Somebody said, well, we need somebody in full-size truck. And I'm going like, well, all right. Yeah, full-size truck.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute. You know, I like full-size trucks. I need them to pull my Morgan on a trailer when I'm, you know, getting it painted or something. So he said, no, we think this will be a good thing for you. 10 years later, and it wasn't a branded studio. So 10 years later, we did everything from, you know, the water department pickup truck, all the way up to the biggest Escalade and everything, heavy duties and everything in between.
It's often said inspiration is found at home. So if you're the lucky car guy that happens to be the chief designer of the Corvette for 13 years, what's in your garage?
I have kind of an eclectic collection. I have an old Morgan, 4.4 Morgan.
You're a Morgan guy?
Yeah, had an old, well, I'm not a Morgan guy, but you know, the way
come on, if you have a Morgan, you're a Morgan guy.
Yeah.
Come on, Charles is going to watch this.
All right. So anyways, I always loved the car. I remember the car had great proportion and style. I wasn't an MG guy or any of that stuff, but I did have a few British car friends that kind of coaxed me along. And I had the chance to get, it was my roommate's car, and it was his father's car. It was a right-hand drive, 65 4.4.
Nice car.
Real clean, real original. And then, you know, we separated. He went to work for Ford, and I went to work for GM. And then I bumped into him at a party a few years afterwards. And I'm going, hey, Bruce, what's going on with the Morgan, man? You gonna restore it? What's going? And we're, you know, a few beers, and he goes, oh yeah, I've been trying to get that thing done, and my wife wants it out of the house. I'm thinking about selling it. You're gonna sell it, you know? So, what's your? I'm about a case of beer into this party, and you know, next thing you know, I leave, and I'm a Morgan owner.
So John and his crew have effectively done the impossible. They've taken the Impala from being a car you don't even want to rent to a car you actually want to buy. So, where do we go from here?
You know, 20 years from now, 25 years from now, it'll look good in this room with this 58 and 64 and all these classics in here. Certainly the split window over here in the corner. It'll be right at home.
Okay, so then you and I in 20 years will go to Barrett Jackson.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go.
We're not going to hit the bitter bar, and we're going to see what it's going for you.
Oh, MotoMan.